William Walker Atkinson has written more about personal magnetism than any other writer. Unfortunately, not many individuals truly understand his writings. So in this video, I'll be commenting on an essential aspect of his teachings related to personal magnetism. In his book, Advanced Course in Personal Magnetism, there's a chapter called The Development of Your Magnetic Power. This is quite an essential piece of writing that must be analyzed so that we can use everything that he is giving us in our modern age as it should be used. But the problem arises. If you read this chapter, you'll immediately notice how superficial it can be. It can be considered nothing more than generic lifestyle advice, and not much more than this. Most of these books, read by a mind of the 21st century, may elicit a wrong view and methods due to the dissemination of weak techniques to our present day. But when we read the subtext, we get the essential keys to magnetism and charisma. Overall, New Thought philosophy, the philosophical school Atkinson came from, can be quite profound. We just need to go deeper, and that's what we do here in Charisma School. So now let's go through Atkinson's 11 rules for developing a magnetic personality. The first rule is believe in yourself, that you have all the power that you wish. This is quite a commonplace saying, believe in yourself and all doors will open. Every father says this to his son or mother to the daughter to believe in themselves. But what exactly is this? To understand this first rule, you need to realize that you already have a strong power or a well of power inside of you. But what is this power? Where does this power come from? Why should you have it inside of you? This is a power that is granted to every human being to be a creator in the world and to fulfill their purpose. It's the power of the will. It allows you to act in the world, to create and manifest your intentions. It's inside of you, but it's also everywhere around you, connecting you to every other human being and the universe that surrounds you. That's why you can have all the power that you wish. It doesn't come from a limited supply from inside of yourself that you can ruin with your choices or your behavior. It's from an infinite reservoir, that this is always there, regardless of your actions. You cannot really deplete the energy of the will, which is different from what is commonly known as willpower. I recommend you to read the article on the website to know about it, since we go into a larger depth about what is the will and what is the difference from what's commonly known as willpower. Not only should you understand and know that this power exists and it's inside of you, but you need to connect with it. Most of us live disconnected from our will, or at least barely touching it. Yet, the more you use it, the more you are connected to it. The less we use it, the more disconnected we become. The problem is that most of us live lives where we allow others to make our decisions and tell us what to focus on. We let the will of others control us instead of using our own. Connecting to the will implies taking control of your life, taking control of your attention, of your speech, of your behaviors. Once you start taking willful actions, in other words, you start believing in yourself, when your behaviors come from you, not someone or something else, you'll feel this connection which you will increase. This is where our mind gets in the way. We may get into habits that prevent this connection. It's not about the lack of power that you have, it's about a connection that gets weakened. And these habits that weaken the connection to the will can be many. Can be intensive cell phone use, too much entertainment like Netflix or similar, blindly following someone in your life like a friend or family member, or not controlling your inner voice, just to name a few. But these habits can be related to our thought process, our relation to the will, our energy and our emotions and so forth. They may be preventing our connection with the true will. Our goal is to get out of the way and develop a pure connection with the will. This is what believing in yourself means. It means taking actions that are coming from you, not reactions, not thoughts from someone else, but your own intentions and your own will. The second rule is let your whole manner denote action, confidence, courage, and the ability to do things. This is related to projection. Not only is it important to feel the inner power, but you also need to let it out, to be externalized. The most common block is in projection. Most people can feel the energy quite well after some practice. they can connect with their will. But the hard part then becomes to externalize it, to project it into the outside world. There may be blocks where you consciously or unconsciously become fearful of changing what you need in your speech, movement, and overall expression into the world, which hinders the full expression of the will. For some unconscious reason, you don't let your full expression to be manifested in the external world. When you think about this, maybe you associate it with your personality, and as such, you may consider it as an immutable part of yourself. But it's not. You can change your projection in your whole manner. A simple change you may already have felt is when you're a sedentary person and you start a good and intense fitness training. All of a sudden, your manner starts to change. Maybe you walk straighter, your chest will naturally be outward, your back will be straight, and everything will feel with more vigor. This is just a simple change that everyone can get from a simple physical exercise routine, particularly when you join it with energetic, mental, and emotional development. Many other changes happen because our physical body is only one part of the equation. We also have an energetic body, an emotional body, and a mental body. When they are all in alignment under the umbrella of the will, then a true holistic change can occur. This second rule from Atkinson reminds us that you project the changes from the inside to the outside. The third rule is you can never hope to increase your personal magnetism until you first familiarize yourself with the tools pertaining to the power. Magnetism needs tools just like any training. If you want to get stronger, you need to learn about strength, and you use weights, or how to do specific exercise properly, how to use food to achieve your objectives, and so on. In the same way, if you want to learn to play the piano, you need to learn the ins and outs of an actual piano, some music theory, and so forth. Magnetism is no different. You need to learn what it is, how it manifests, and the equivalent of weights and exercise, which is its tools. In this case, we are talking about learning about the will, about energy, about the different energies, how the energy circulates in your body, your mind power, how focus and concentration influence your energy and magnetism, the tools of projection, how can you increase and improve the energy that is coming out of your body, and so on. If you don't understand and master these tools, developing and increasing your magnetism becomes difficult. The fourth rule is, be careful with what you say. Atkinson understood that your word has a creative ability. Not only that, but it's critical in the use of your will. I know that in today's world, your word means very little. We see everyone saying one thing and doing another, but that's not the way of the magnetic man. The magnetic man's word means something, both internally and externally. To yourself, when you say something, you accomplish it. What this does is aligning your conscious mind with your unconscious mind. When you repeatedly say that you are going to do something, and this something actually happens, your unconscious know, that your word is mandatory. It's not just something that can be quickly overrun by sending a few mental images or mental impulses. No, your unconscious now respects your word, and with it, your intention and your will. Your will starts to run the show instead of other unconscious impulses. You can listen to your unconscious impulses, but you don't want to follow everything. Your word becomes the vehicle of your will, aligning your conscious and unconscious mind with your body, energy, emotions, and mind. The fifth rule is, you will never find a selfish man with a winning personality. Self-interest is very necessary, but deliberate selfishness is very unmagnetic. You may think that magnetism is about getting what you want from others, but that is not the reality. A vampiric energy is an energy that is contracting, an energy that tries to steal something away from others. That is not magnetic energy. Magnetic energy gives away, it's abundant. When you are magnetic, you share and expand your energy with others around you. You are sharing your abundance. You just need to feel what happens when you desperately need something from other people. How do you feel your energy? How do you feel yourself? I'm sure you won't like what you feel. It's vampiric. It's an energy that draws energy from others. It's contracting. Your personal magnetism tends to decrease. While if you do the opposite exercise, when you give something of your own free will to other people, you will see how much more relaxed and how much better you feel. Your energy is now abundant. Instead of contracting, it's expanding. Magnetism is about already feeling what you want to receive. First, you develop this quality in yourself, and then you can receive more of it from others. Not from stealing it or making others do something, but because you already have it, because you already are it. You receive more from it. That's the true key to magnetism. Develop yourself and become what you want to receive, and you shall get it. It may seem like a paradox, but it's not. If you understand the energy laws, this becomes quite intuitive. The sixth rule is, don't show your weakness by constantly losing your temper. Losing your temper is giving in to your negative emotions and impulses. If you feel the impulse to be angry, you give in and you become angry. If you feel the impulse to be jealous, you give in and you become jealous. We all have negative emotions and negative impulses. We all feel them one way or the other. Some of them can be stronger and some of them can be weaker, but they are always present. When you develop a quality of presence and observance of your body, mind, energy, and emotions, then it means that you can observe those negative impulses and negative emotions, but you don't need to act on them. You don't need to give in to them. When you do, you show your weakness, not only to others, but also to yourself. When you are present and observe them without acting on those emotions, then you show strength. Presence is a trait of personal magnetism, and you gain it by developing the quality of observance. With it, you avoid showing your weakness. The seventh rule is, if you want to be well liked, it is necessary to become what is called a good mixer. This is one of the most critical aspects of magnetism. What Atkinson was talking about in this rule about being a good mixer was being able to mingle well with others and adapt ourselves to different situations and people. It seems like a bit of common sense advice, and of course we should follow it and make an effort to adjust to different people and situations. But it's a lot deeper than what it looks at first glance. The true meaning is that magnetism is never stale and it's never monotonous. Magnetism is always flexible and always moving. One of the most important keys you'll learn in a personal magnetism course is precisely this. You are not magnetic if you tend to have the same energy constantly. Magnetism wants movement, it wants flexibility, it wants adaptation. And you need to do it in all aspects of your training on all types of exercises. When you understand this principle in practice, rather than just theoretical, then you'll understand an important key. Then, when projecting to the external world, you'll see your energy automatically adjust to others. You'll need a different energy to interact with an extrovert individual in a business setting than with an introverted individual in a social setting. It's different, and you'll need to adjust this energy both inside of you, in the energy quality and flow, and outside of you in your projection. The eighth rule is, have an open mind. Do not try to convert others to your way of thinking and acting. It's straightforward to use magnetism to convince and persuade others into things that they don't really want or it's against their best interests. And many people indeed use that. But that goes against one of the basic rules of magnetism, which is freedom. If you have worked with energy before, you know that you want to give it unrestrained freedom when it's moving inside of you, eliminating unconscious blocks. You don't want your energy to be blocked or restrained by unconscious blocks. Whenever you need to limit your energy for some reason or some practice, you want to do it consciously. You want to follow the same principles when interacting and using it with others. You want to give them as much freedom as possible without interfering with your own. Then you may surgically use your energy to do something that you want, but make sure it also goes towards the energy you are receiving from the other individual in front of you. For example, you won't use your magnetism to persuade an interviewer to give you a job that you already know that you are not qualified to do. This would go against their best interest, their freedom, and what their energy is requesting. And of course, this is very much aligned with the following rule. The ninth rule is, genuineness develops magnetic qualities of the very highest kinds. Being genuine is being authentic to oneself to fulfill what you truly are inside and the ultimate aspect of charisma. Once you are connected to your true purpose, your magnetism comes out effortlessly without blocks. And it's like you get into the bandwagon of life, and everything that happens in congruence. But this is a long path, or at least for most people. We develop layers and layers of obstruction, and rarely can we connect directly to it, which we only understand through the study and practice of the will, energy, mind control, and inner power. With all the mental, energetic, and bodily obstruction, it's hard to connect to our deepest selves and truly understand the message that we have inside. By unblocking and allowing the energy to circulate, other messages can finally come through. The 10th rule is, the man who keeps himself under control commands our respect and confidence. And here we are talking about a straightforward application of the will, about that center of pure self-consciousness that is a key to everything we want to achieve in life. That power that we have inside in its application stage of inner power. Will and inner power are often confused, but they are intertwined together. We can describe them by using a metaphor. It's easier if you think of the will as a low-level programming language that is used to connect to the very core of your system, similar to the binary language, something that you connect very close to the hardware. And inner power as your software, like an entire operating system ready to use in so many different ways. And yes, the inner power is built on top of the will, but at the same time, it can be much more than this. It potentiates the will in ways that you cannot access directly. With inner power, you learn how to use and control different aspects of yourself. And yes, it commands respect, confidence, since most people don't have this inner power, or at least not a good level of inner power. So in this rule, Atkinson is warning us to develop inner power, to learn how to control our different facets, and we will be rewarded with respect and confidence. The final rule is, you cannot expect to have a winning personality unless you have an eye that is not afraid to look straight at a person. Atkinson is, of course, referring here to the magnetic gaze. The magnetic gaze is not just being able to look someone in the eye, but also being able to project energy, magnetism, or your soul through your eyes. For that, you need to understand many concepts and undergo specific training where you train your eyes to project energy. Still, most importantly, you experientially understand the rules that underlie all that, many of them expressed here in this video, along with your voice and words. So the gaze is much more than just an aspect of projection. It's more than just being able to project something through your eyes. By using your gaze to project, you already need to understand a whole range of keys inside of yourself. And here we have the 11 rules for developing a magnetic personality. You can take these rules at face value and only get a superficial aspect, or you can go deeper and study their energetic impact and other factors. All of them are much more than what meets the eye, and all of them have practical applications in your everyday life. While they were explained somewhat in this short video, you'll need to know them theoretically and experientially in their different aspects. You can access our website, charismaschool.com, to get more information on personal magnetism, charisma, magnetic gaze, and sexual energy, including courses on all these topics. You may wish to subscribe to our newsletter to receive all the updates of new videos, articles, and courses. See you soon.